probably the last week I could do this before it gets too uncomfortably cold to be walking around outside. But here I am on the end of this platform hanging over the water. Moscow at night. Summer has just ended. It's a nice cool chill in the air and it already feels like Christmas, even though it's just become October. Hello and welcome to Expat American. I am the Expat American, and tonight I am here in Moscow again at night to enjoy the city lights and answer a question some people have been asking, and that is, why am I in Russia? Just wanted to show the Historic State Museum with its lights on under the night sky. There's an underground mall we'll be going to over there because I am hungry. Take a look. I didn't realize this till just now, but apparently parts of Red Square close at nighttime. If you can look closely through that gate there, you can see an ever-burning flame, another memorial that they have set up here. There's a Russian McDonald's symbol and a KFC. So lots of fast food options just like you would find at a mall in America. Here I am in Moo, my favorite Russian restaurant. It's better than fast food. It's not as nice as a sit-down place. It's what Russians would call a bistro. First I have borscht, which is Russian soup, red soup with cabbage and meat inside. It's made to look like a cow. Main course is called shashlik, which is basically shish kebab. I believe this is chicken. Comes with some cabbage and a little bit of bread. Russians call it chleb. Any type of bread is chleb. And here is julienne. I think you fancy Americans will know what this is. It's mushroom and cheese, basically. And of course, a Russian beer. I'm actually feeling pretty good right now because they carded me for the beer. I told them I'm 48 let, which is 48 years old. This shashlik is very, very tasty. It's a Russian tradition. They do barbecues whenever it's warm outside, summer, of course, and a little bit in spring and fall. And you just gather around the barbecue and make meat on a stick that they call shashlik, just like you might make hot dogs, hamburgers, or ribs on a grill in America. It is way, way too noisy in here for me to film anything. I'm going to have to finish eating, which you don't want to see me do anyway, and then continue recording. So it's a two-part complaint that I've been getting. Why are you in Russia, and why are you doing a video series featuring Russia? Look real quick, here's a wide shot of the Red Castle, the Historic State Museum in front of Red Square and the corner of the Kremlin. So the reason why I am in Russia is my wife is Russian. And we got married in America almost a decade ago when all was right with the world and there was no Cold War, so to speak of. And we had some kids from a previous marriage, we had some more kids, and then it was time for 3 of our kids to be in university, which is expensive. And we figured out that Russia has good, cheap universities. So early February, we moved out here to take a turn living in Russia for a while. And that's innocent enough, I feel. And so far, so good. It's been a great place, despite the news headlines, which I try to ignore. The Kremlin bell is ringing for me just in time. As I walk by again, you got the red star on top, like I said, the symbol of Russia. Now, I'm not insensitive to the news. It's a big deal. I know it's a big deal. People are suffering. But there are only so many things I can do in life before I die. I've got about 30 years left. I could save the whales, I could plant trees, I could donate money to third world countries, I could be a Christian, let's say, which is one of the things I've chosen to do. I could take a stance on political issues. I could take a side with one country over another. And what I've decided to do is step back and look at the bigger picture and do a video series where I'm subtly saying over and over again, let's all calm down and look at how we're the same and look at how we have so much in common. Now, there may need to be people that take sides and get into the political details of things, but that's just not what I have chosen to do. I'm not going to go against my government of America, and while I'm a guest here in Russia on a visa, I'm not going to go against Russia either. I submitted a form, I paid a fee, I asked to come here, and they granted my request. And I'm going to obey the laws of the land, as the Bible says, and take a lot of time making a video series where I'm trying to remind everyone that we have so much in common, and let's just try to pause and think about that. Look at how beautiful St. Basil's is under the night sky. Season 4, Episode 6. Season 4, Episode 6. If you want to know more about me, that is the coordinates to a podcast I was just interviewed on called Withholding Nothing by BJ Foster. It's a Christian podcast, and I go into more detail about my life. I'm in a park just outside of Red Square. It's a relatively new park, and this is a ride in the park that's apparently the same as Soarin' in Epcot, where it shows you different parts of Russia. And all over this park, can't see it that well now. Apparently, it's got all the different topography and plants that you can see in all of Russia. Maybe you think you've seen that building before. Actually, there are, I believe, 7 buildings like it in the city of Moscow, built identical. One of them is a university, and they all have different functions. And I think the myth is, or maybe it's true, they're built on like the 7 hills of Moscow. This is, I'm not sure what you'd call it. It's like a bridge, but it doesn't cross over. It makes a U shape out over the river. So it goes out over the river, and then it turns and comes back over the river, and as you can see, over traffic as well. There's the Kremlin down there. And again, that building again. Up there is a glass dome. It is where they have a bunch of plants that are protected from the elements, from the weather. So it's like a giant fancy greenhouse. So maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm an idiot. Maybe I'm completely confused and mistaken, but this is my choice so far. Life is big and complicated. My number one priority is going to be a Christian and interpret the Bible as best I can. My number 2 priority is going to be a father of the 5 kids that I have. I'm not a revolutionary. I'm not going to go out and get involved in stuff on that level. I'm going to do what I think is best for my kids. And then after that, I'll perhaps do what I can for the world. And if you like that, not everyone else who doesn't like it, but if you like it, click like and subscribe, ring the bell notification, and click the link right here for the next video where we will be exploring what Russians like to play as far as board games and card games.